you've done that. So that's the first time.
Yeah.
I thought you
No, I haven't done that.
You live. So that's okay.
So where's the record?
Now, record. That's a good question.
Well, you definitely did it last time because I listened to it.
Yeah. No. Right. There's two screens open here. You've got YouTube and you've got OBS. YouTube's on Safari, your browser.
Yeah.
And you've got OBS.
What's OBS?
OBS is the streaming software.
Right, okay.
And it's going out live through YouTube. YouTube just is the platform by which you broadcast. While OBS handles all the data.
Right.
Okay. So if you click on, you do it, that's OBS, that black thing there. It says OBS. This is what's happening. Right. Now this, I think this is live. So if you see me walk over here. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And walk back. That's live, isn't it? Is that live?
Yeah. I think so.
Okay. Now, start recording.
Is that too early?
Yeah, it's a bit early at the moment, yeah.
So if I leave that up and then start recording, is there anything else I need to do?
No.
And then when
The chat comes up in there, hopefully.
Right.
Let's just see what we've got.
And did you say it's a separate link every week that you have to send a separate link out? Is that
I
right?
think so, yes. I'm gradually getting into this.
I think you've been doing it incredibly well. So what's Jigme helping with tomorrow? I know he said that's the original thing.
So that is the link that we've got. So this is the live show. So if we say a few seconds, that comes. Yeah, it's me talking.
Okay, yeah,
So that's it.
okay.
So that's working. So what was the question? What's Jigme helping with?
Yeah.
He's helping with Wi-Fi.
Right.
Because it's all over the place. It's not working very well. I'm okay. Because I'm using the office Wi-Fi to set up channel one. And the general one throughout the building, KM, the Liverpool, I think KMC Liverpool one, it's on and off all over the place.
Yeah.
And they're not getting Wi-Fi and haven't used the data. And it's been going on like this for weeks now. And they're getting a bit left.
Well, I couldn't function
No,
without Wi-Fi.
me neither.
I couldn't do my
You
job.
should see my room now, where I've got one of these, then a nice big screen here, and a desk, and I need that Wi-Fi to do all my work,
Yeah.
you know.
Enables
I'm
me
going to
to
sit down here.
So do you need me to be here then? Do I need to be here? Because if I don't need to be here, I'll leave you to it then.
No, it's right, yeah.
Oh.
You may do in the future if I got clogs and
So, but I need to probably next week though, or when have we got?
unless you want to do it and I'll go sit over there.
Well, if you want a break, I'll do it. This is fine because you're the one who's doing it. I mean, I'm here to. I am supposed to do it, and I'm happy to do it. But if you're comfortable sitting down,
I am. Once I'm out of this drag.
because it's the radiator, so you're
you're
welcome.
right.
But if you, well, okay, well, I'll still say because so I can keep an eye. No, I'll keep an eye on the text, and you can because I don't mind doing this, but that's one of the things about Helen. Thank you so much for working with Helen. I think.
She's coming around.
Well, yeah. Well, I did. We had because at one point she was saying that you were totally.
She wasn't.
Oh,
was
this
she?
is Helen.
Oh, this is like a
Yeah.
weird.
She's got, she's got some.
Whoa.
She's got form autism. I'm not sure that there's anything like this, but so, and I was just like, because I do lots of different children. She's like, I'm not doing that with kids most of them yet. And I've got lots of ideas in mind, but I was like, I don't know what to say.
Good one. I must go get my hearing again.
Well, I think, I don't know. I think, 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 run up, come back and give me a smack.
I can wait to see it.
I haven't done that for ages. Actually, probably.
So if you fall asleep and we don't start the phrase, I'll just be like, Lucy! And you'll be like, oh!
Yeah, I've done that before, you know, and you've kind of dozed off and going,
Yeah. Northern dog I call it.
No, it's memory. No, yeah, mainly it's basically you read what it says in the book, what they do.
That's me buggered then.
You get no marks for dribbling. Well, not dribble, but leaving your own Dharma. I'm following this one and Sam being
yeah.
you've got that.
Well, actually, you can have that. Because this is my book, but I paid for it again, because I didn't, the idea of stealing from Dharma. So in theory, there's a spare book that I paid for, so I'm giving you it.
Oh, thank you.
That is,
Kind.
yes, and
I've
it's
got
paid
one,
for.
but it's at home.
No, it's paid for and you've got it. Hi, Helen.
Hey, Helen.
Like that.
Right, we're going live now.
I'd like to.
Well, that.
That was a smile, by the way, from Steve. Right, so if I press start recording, and it's saying stop,
Yeah,
that's it.
it's not, no, what time is it?
I'm
6:58.
going to go outside and score the boxing. Okay, and I just leave it like that then. Okay. Oh, hang on, but chat. How do I see the chat? Do I move this along?
Just click on the back screen
And then
and
I
then
can see that.
start typing in there. I usually say hi, good evening. Just say hi, good evening. Receiving us loud and clear. Yes. The cheat sheet will come.
Water, mic's in the right place, you set up that. I can't see what's
Yeah.
happening.
Okay. Thanks.
Tissues. Now you've made me run parallel.
Something like that. The Jigme's logging on then.
Yeah.
But I won't be here, I'll be at school.
Good evening, all.
O Blessed One, Shakyamuni Buddha, precious treasury of compassion, bestower of supreme inner peace, you who love all beings without exception, are the source of happiness and goodness, and you guide us to the liberating path. Your body is a wish-fulfilling jewel. Your speech is supreme purifying nectar, and your mind is refuge for all living beings. With folded hands I turn to you, supreme unchanging friend. I request from the depths of my heart, please give me the light of your wisdom to dispel the darkness of my mind, and to heal my mental continuum. Please nourish me with your goodness, that I in turn may nourish all beings with an unceasing banquet of delight. Through your compassionate intention, your blessings and virtuous deeds, and my strong wish to rely upon you. May all suffering quickly cease, and all happiness and joy be fulfilled, and may holy Dhamma flourish forevermore. May the whole ground become completely pure, as level as the palm of a hand, and as smooth as lapis lazuli. May all of space be filled with offerings from gods and men, both set out and imagined, like offerings of the All-Good One. In the space in front, on a lion throne, on a cushion of lotus, sun and moon, sits Buddha Shakyamuni, the essence of all my kind teachers, surrounded by by the assembly of direct and indirect gurus, Yidams, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, heroes, solitary conquerors, heroes, dakinis, and Dharma protectors. I and all my kind mothers, fearing samsara's torments, turn to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, the only sources of refuge. From now until enlightenment, to the three jewels we go for refuge. I and all sentient beings until we achieve enlightenment, go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I and all sentient beings until we achieve enlightenment, go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I and all sentient beings until we achieve enlightenment, go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I and all sentient beings until we achieve enlightenment, go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I and all sentient beings until we achieve enlightenment, go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I and all sentient beings until we achieve enlightenment, go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I and all sentient beings until we achieve enlightenment, go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Through the virtues I collect by giving another perfections, may I become a Buddha for the benefit of all. Through the virtues I collect by giving another perfections, may I become a Buddha for the benefit of all. Through the virtues I collect by giving another perfections, may I become a Buddha for the benefit of all. From the hearts of all refuge objects, lights and nectar stream down and dissolve into myself and all living beings, purifying negative karma and obstructions, increasing our lives, our virtues, and Dharma realization. May everyone be happy, may everyone be free from misery, may no one ever be separated from their happiness, may everyone have equanimity, free from hatred and attachment. You, protector of all beings, great destroyer of hosts of demons, please, O Blessed One, Lord of all, come to this place with your retinue. With my body, speech, and mind, humbly I prostrate, and make offerings both set out and imagined. I confess my wrong deeds from all time, and rejoice in the virtues of all. Please stay until samsara ceases, and turn the wheel of Dharma for us. I dedicate all virtues to great enlightenment. The ground sprinkled with perfume and spread with flowers, the great mountain for land, sun, and moon, seen as a Buddha land and offered thus. May all beings enjoy such pure lands. I offer without any sense of loss the objects that give rise to my attachment, hatred, and confusion, my friends, enemies, and strangers, our bodies and enjoyments. Please accept these and bless me to be released directly from the three poisons. Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Niryatayami. So now, my most kind root Guru, please sit on the lotus and moon on my crown, and grant me out of your great kindness your body, speech, and mind's attainment. I make request to you, Buddha Shakyamuni, whose body comes from countless virtues, whose speech fulfills the hopes of mortals, whose mind sees clearly all existence. I make request to you, Gurus of the lineage of extensive deeds, Venerable Maitreya, noble Sangha Vasubandhu, and all the other precious teachers who have revealed the path of vastness. I make request to you, Gurus of the lineage of profound view, Venerable Manjushri, Nagarjuna, Chandrakirti, and all the other precious teachers who have revealed the most profound path. I make request to you, Gurus of the lineage of secret mantra, Conqueror Vajradhara, Tilopa, and Naropa, and all the other precious teachers who have revealed the path of Tantra. I make request to you, Gurus of the old Kadam lineage, the second Buddha, Tisha, Drom, Tompa, Geshe, Potawa, and all the other precious teachers who have revealed the union of vast and profound paths. I make request to you, Gurus of the new Kadam lineage, Venerable Tsongkhapa, Jampal Gyatso, Kedrupje, and all the other precious teachers who have revealed the union of Sutra and Tantra. I make request to you, Venerable Khalsang Gyatso, protector of a vast ocean of living beings, unequal teacher of the paths to liberation and enlightenment, who accomplish and explain everything that was revealed by the fourth deliverer of this fortunate eon. I make request to you, my kind precious teacher, who care for those with uncontrolled minds, untamed by all the previous Buddhas, as if they were fortunate disciples. Please pour down your inspiring blessings upon myself and all my mothers, so that we may quickly stop all perverse minds, from disrespect for our kind teacher, to the most subtle jewel appearance. Please pour down your inspiring blessings, so that we may quickly generate pure minds, from respect for our kind teacher, to the supreme mind of union. Please pour down your inspiring blessings, to pacify all outer and inner obstructions. Please pour down your inspiring blessings upon myself and all my mothers, so that we may quickly stop all perverse minds, from disrespect for our kind teacher, to the most subtle jewel appearance. Please pour down your inspiring blessings, so that we may quickly generate pure minds, from respect for our kind teacher, to the supreme mind of union. Please pour down your inspiring blessings, to pacify all outer and inner obstructions. Please pour down your inspiring blessings upon myself and all my mothers, so that we may quickly stop all perverse minds, from disrespect for our kind teacher, to the most subtle dual appearance. Please pour down your inspiring blessings, so that we may quickly generate pure minds, from respect for our kind teacher, to the supreme mind of union. Please pour down your inspiring blessings, to pacify all outer and inner obstructions. From the hearts of all the holy beings, streams of light and nectar flow down, granting blessings and purifying. The path begins with strong reliance on my kind teacher, source of all good. Oh, bless me with this understanding to follow him with great devotion. This human life with all its freedoms extremely rare, with so much meaning. Oh, bless me with this understanding all day and night to seize its essence. My body like a water bubble decays and dies so very quickly. After death come results of karma, just like the shadow of a body. With this for knowledge and remembrance, bless me to be extremely cautious, always avoiding harmful actions and gathering abundant virtue. Samsara's pleasures are deceptive, give no contentment, only torment. So please bless me to strive sincerely to gain the bliss of perfect freedom. Oh, bless me so that from this pure thought come mindfulness and greatest caution, to keep as my essential practice the doctrine's root, the Pratimoksha. Just like myself, all my kind mothers are drowning in samsara's ocean. Oh, so that I may soon release them, bless me to train in bodhicitta. But I cannot become a Buddha by this alone, without three ethics. So bless me with the strength to practice the Bodhisattva's ordination, by pacifying my distractions and analyzing perfect meanings. Bless me to quickly gain the union of special insight and quiescence. When I become a pure container through common paths, bless me to enter the essence practice of good fortune, the supreme vehicle Vajrayana. The two attainments both depend on my sacred vows and my commitments. Bless me to understand this clearly and keep them at the cost of my life. By constant practice in 4 sessions, the way explained by holy teachers. Oh, bless me to gain both the stages which are the essence of the Tantras. May those who guide me on the good path and my companions all have long lives. Bless me to pacify completely all obstacles, outer and inner. May I always find perfect teachers and take delight in holy Dharma. Accomplish all grounds and pass swiftly and gain the state of Vajradhara.
And so we can meditate. Imagine you're sitting peacefully in the middle of a vast, flat plain. And you're surrounded by all other living beings, all appearing in a human form. Closest to you are your friends and loved ones and relatives of this life. And then beyond them are your acquaintances of this life. And then beyond them are all those you've never met. You just know that they exist. And so begin by asking yourself, how are they? Imagine you're seeing their lives from the time they're born, or even to the time that they're conceived, to the end of their life. And you see, for the whole of this time, they experience suffering, grave physical and mental suffering. Some people experiencing extreme poverty, finding it difficult to get enough food and clean water to sustain their life. Some people having to live on the streets with no home. Some people suffering terrible diseases. Some people suffering terrible loneliness and separation from people and things that they like. Some people being caught up in wars and conflict, their bodies being broken and torn apart. Some people caught up in natural disasters. burnt alive in fires, swept away in floods. Crushed in earthquakes. And then you realize this doesn't just happen in one lifetime. It will continue to happen in all their future lifetimes. As each of the people you recognize, you're aware of, gathered around you, they will continue to take contaminated rebirth, life after life. And so the thought arises in your mind, I cannot bear the suffering of these countless mother living beings, drowning in the vast and deep ocean of samsara. They have to experience unbearable physical suffering and mental pain in this life and in countless future lives. I cannot bear this ocean of suffering. I must permanently liberate all these living beings without exception from their suffering. I must permanently liberate all these living beings permanently from their suffering. And when that thought arises in your mind, it causes the suffering of all those gathered around you to become manifest as dark black smoke. And this smoke leaves every living being gathered around you and comes and gathers into a small cloud in front of you. So the smoke leaves every living being and gathers in front of you. And you recognize this as all their suffering of this life and all their future lives. And with this spontaneous mind that's thinking, I cannot bear to think of all this suffering, you draw the smoke, all of it, into your heart. Where it is immediately destroyed by your compassionate wish. now everyone is freed from the suffering of this and all their future lives. And now when you observe what you've accomplished for all your mother living beings, now you see only a sea of peace, freedom from suffering. And your gaze travels from those who are closest to you, your friends and relatives, through your acquaintances, to all those mother living beings you've never met in this life. And when you realize what you've accomplished for them, the joyful feeling begins to grow in your heart. You realize that your mind of compassion has not only destroyed their suffering, it's destroyed your own self-cherishing, the cause of your own suffering. The more you think about this, the more this joyful feeling grows in your heart. With every breath you take, this feeling of joy becomes stronger and stronger, until it completely pervades your whole body and your whole mind. As if your whole being is the nature of joy. So just relax like this, experiencing this mind of joy, having freed every living being, every mother being, permanently from their suffering. And for the last minute or so, try to have a deep feeling of joy, having freed all living beings from their suffering permanently, and having destroyed your own self-cherishing mind. So really imagine that you have freed all your mother living beings from suffering, and you've destroyed the causes of your own suffering permanently. Thank you. The root text, page 263. With the intention to attain the ultimate supreme goal that surpasses even the wish-granting Jew, may I constantly cherish all living beings. Whenever I associate with others, may I view myself as the lowest of all, and with a pure intention, may I cherish others as supreme. Examining my mental continuum throughout all my actions, as soon as a delusion of self-cherishing develops, whereby I or others would act inappropriately, may I firmly face it and avert it. Whenever I see unfortunate beings oppressed by evil and violent suffering, may I cherish them as if I had rare and precious treasure. Even if someone I have helped and of whom I had great hopes nevertheless harms me intentionally, may I see him or her as my holy spiritual guide. When others out of jealousy harm me or insult me, may I take defeat upon myself and offer them the victory. In short, may I directly and indirectly offer help and happiness to all my mothers, and secretly take upon myself all their harm and suffering. Furthermore, through all the above practices, together with a mind undefiled by the stains of conceptions of the 8 extremes, and that sees all phenomena as illusory, may I and all living beings be released from the bondage of mistaken appearance and conception. And then page 268 of the condensed meaning. Well, actually, let's go through the whole condensed meaning up to that point. just to refresh your mind, because you've probably learned it already, right? The commentary to 8 verses of Training the Mind has 5 parts. The preeminent qualities of the author, Bodhisattva Langve Tangpa, the preeminent qualities of these instructions, the preliminary practices, the main practice, training in the 2 bodhicittas, how to integrate the practice of these instructions. The preliminary practices has 6 parts: cleaning the meditation room and setting up a shrine, arranging beautiful offerings, sitting in the correct meditation posture, going for refuge and generating bodhicitta, visualizing the field for accumulating merit, offering the 7 limbs and the mandala, requesting the holy beings to bestow their blessings. Cleaning the meditation room and setting up a shrine has 2 parts: cleaning practice, setting up a shrine. Sitting in the correct meditation posture, going for refuge and generating bodhicitta has 3 parts: sitting in the correct meditation posture, going for refuge, generating bodhicitta. Offering the 7 limbs and the mandala has 8 parts: prostration, offering, confession, rejoicing, beseeching the holy beings to remain, requesting the turning of the wheel of Dharma, dedication, offering the mandala. Requesting the holy beings to bestow their blessings has 2 parts: requesting blessings, receiving blessings. The main practice, training in the 2 bodhicittas, has 2 parts: training in conventional bodhicitta, training in ultimate bodhicitta. Training in conventional bodhicitta has 8 parts: learning to cherish others, enhancing cherishing love, exchanging self with others, great compassion, wishing love, accepting defeat and offering the victory, taking and giving, the precious mind of bodhicitta. Learning to cherish others has 2 parts: the kindness of others, the benefits of cherishing others. Enhancing cherishing love has 4 parts: recognizing our faults in the mirror of Dharma, viewing all living beings as supreme, living beings have no faults, developing humility. Exchanging self with others has 5 parts: what is self-cherishing, the faults of self-cherishing, how to destroy self-cherishing, how is it possible to exchange self with others, the actual practice of exchanging self with others. Great compassion has 3 parts: what is compassion, how to develop compassion, the inner wealth of compassion. So we can turn back to page, I think it's 130. From the paragraph at the bottom of the page, I think. Of all virtuous minds, compassion is supreme. Compassion purifies our mind, and when our mind is pure, its objects also become pure. There are many accounts of spiritual practitioners who, by developing strong compassion, purified their minds of the negativity that had long been obstructing their spiritual progress. Of all virtuous minds, compassion is supreme. In Ocean of Nectar, it talks about the compassion that realizes why other living beings suffer. Because they have self-grasping ignorance. So it's a wisdom combined with compassion, or compassion combined with a wisdom that understands the causes of suffering, and being self-grasping ignorance is the root of suffering. And so it's like saying that there is a level of compassion that is based on and derived from wisdom that enables us to realize the causes of suffering of all living beings without exception. And awakens us to the idea that in order to free others from their suffering, we have to make it possible for them to overcome self-grasping ignorance. In other words, attain a direct realization of emptiness. Because unless they can do that, suffering will never cease. So they should come to Saturday's day courses. For example, Asanga, a great Buddhist master who lived in India in the 5th century, in the Common Era, meditated in an isolated mountain cave in order to gain a vision of Buddha Maitreya. After 12 years, he still had not succeeded and felt discouraged, abandoned his retreat. On his way down the mountain, he came across an old dog lying in the middle of the path. Its body was covered in maggot-infested sores, and it seemed close to death. This sight induced within Asanga an overwhelming feeling of compassion for all living beings trapped within samsara. So Asanga doesn't just have compassion for the dog, he has compassion for all living beings. So whenever you see an old dog lying by the side of the road, covered in maggot-infested sores, develop compassion for all living beings. As he was painstakingly removing the maggots from the dying dog, in some descriptions of this story, he removes them with his tongue in order to not harm the maggots. So the maggots are living beings too. They just happen to be on this dog. And so he has compassion for the maggots as well. As he was painstakingly removing the maggots from the dying dog, it suddenly transformed into Buddha Maitreya himself. Oh, we've finally been given permission to do, not yet, but we've created the causes to receive permission to grant the empowerment of Buddha Maitreya in beginning of May. Sorry? Yes.
No, I just thought you said that you'd been given permission, didn't know whether it was here.
Oh yeah, to grant an empowerment, you have to have permission of General Spiritual Director, in this case Khenle Tekyong. Maitreya explained that he had been with Asanga since the beginning of his retreat, but due to the impurities in Asanga's mind, Asanga had not been able to see him. It was Asanga's extraordinary compassion that had finally purified the karmic obstructions, preventing him from seeing Maitreya. In reality, the dog had been an emanation of Buddha Maitreya all along. Maitreya emanated as a suffering dog for the purpose of arousing Asanga's compassion. We can see from this how Buddhas manifest in many different ways to help living beings. So you have to remember There's no dog out there. The dog is just an appearance to Asanga's mind. And somehow or other Maitreya is causing this emanation to appear to Asanga's mind. In a sense, it's Asanga that's appearing the dog. Yeah. And in a sense, we appear everything. So if you don't like what's appearing for you, change your mind. Develop compassion. Anyone who dies with a mind of pure compassion will definitely be reborn in a pure land, where he or she will never again have to experience the sufferings of samsara. The Bodhisattva Geshe Chekawa, his main wish was to be reborn in hell so that he could help the beings suffering there. So, seems like Geshe Chekawa should have known there's no kind of external place of hell. Hell is just what appears to a hellish mind. And Geshe Chekawa has not got a hellish mind. He's got a mind filled with compassion. And so hell cannot appear to a mind that's filled with compassion. Only a pure land can appear to a compassionate mind. However, as he lay on his deathbed, he perceived a vision of the Pure Land and realized that his wish would not be fulfilled. Instead of being reborn in hell, he had no choice but to go to the Pure Land. This was because his compassion had purified his mind to such an extent that from the point of view of his own experience, impure objects such as hell realms no longer existed for him. So he comes to that realization as he is dying. For him, everything was pure. However, although Geshe Chekawa took rebirth in a pure land, he was able to help hell beings through his emanations. So this is what enlightened beings do. They bestow blessings and they create emanations. Like Geshe has emanated all of you to help me. Sorry? Well, we may find these stories difficult to believe, but this is because we do not understand the relationship between our mind and its objects. We feel that the world exists out there, independent of the mind that perceives it. But in reality, objects are totally dependent on the minds that perceive them. So, I said earlier that we appear things. We appear things because of our karma. We've created the karma to appear things to us. The impure world that we presently experience exists only in relation to our own impure mind. Once we've completely purified our mind through training and exchanging self with others, compassion and so forth, this impure world will disappear and we will perceive a new pure world. Our sense that things exist separately from our mind with their own fixed inherent natures comes from our self-grasping ignorance. When we understand the true nature of things, we will see that our world is like a dream, in that everything exists as a mere appearance to mind. we will realize that we can change our world simply by changing our mind. And that if we wish to be free from suffering, all we need to do is purify our mind. So there's a story of a monk in our tradition who was quite a senior monk, and he was sent to various places like Finland and Italy and different parts of England to give teachings. And often the students complained about him. I'm not quite sure why. But his response was always, well, if you want to get a better teacher, improve your karma.
It's on you.
Yeah. Having purified our own mind, we will then be in a position to fulfill our compassionate wish by showing others how to do the same. Considering all these benefits of compassion, we should resolve to make use of every opportunity to develop it. The most important thing is to put the teachings on compassion into practice. Otherwise, for us, they will remain just empty words. Pure compassion is a mind that finds the suffering of others unbearable, but it does not make us depressed. That's very important, because often people think if you have compassion for other people, you just get depressed. But it's not, because it gives us great energy. And it gives us joy, actually, because we realize that we understand their suffering and its causes. And then we have the ability and the understanding of how to work to free others from their suffering. So it's like a package deal that we can apply within our own mind to be able to help others to become free of their suffering. In fact, it gives us tremendous energy to work for others and to complete the spiritual path for their sake. It shatters our complacency and makes it impossible to rest content with the superficial happiness of satisfying our worldly desires. Anybody got superficial happiness of satisfying your worldly desires? Are you resting content? So we know we're just a work in progress, but we're trying. That's all Geshe-la says, just try. Try to develop compassion. Yet in its place we will come to know a deep inner peace that cannot be disturbed by changing conditions. It is impossible for strong delusions to arise in a mind filled with compassion. If we do not develop delusions, external circumstances alone have no power to disturb us. So when our mind is governed by compassion, it is always at peace. This is the experience of all those who have developed their compassion beyond the limited compassion normally felt for a close karmic circle, into a selfless compassion for all living beings. Whenever I see unfortunate beings oppressed by evil and violent suffering, which is everybody, developing compassion and wisdom and helping those in need whenever possible is the true meaning of life. By increasing our compassion, we come closer to enlightenment and to the fulfillment of our deepest wishes. How kind living beings are to act as the objects of our compassion. How precious they are. If there were no suffering beings left for us to help, Buddhas would have to emanate them for us. Maybe he does. Indeed, if we consider the story of Maitreya and Asanga, we will see that we have no way of knowing for sure whether those we are presently trying to help are not in fact emanations of Buddha manifested for our benefit. The indication that we have mastered the meditations on cherishing others and compassion is that whenever we meet another person, even someone who is harming us, we genuinely feel as if we had found a rare and precious treasure. So you just think every person you meet, you're my treasure. You're my precious treasure. But at least we can think this person is special for me, because right in front of me is an opportunity to develop compassion. Instead of thinking, this is an opportunity for me to manipulate them so they make me feel good. Anyway, we can stop there.
So what did you do last week? Have you got the same partners then? Boats?
I'm with
Who are you with? You got one?
Helen.
You and Helen. So,
I was with Norm.
right, okay, so, and you and Sue, so you, me and Sharon as three, or you and me and Lucy? Yeah, we can be together, we look like. Yes, I'm gonna let you do it together, but you'll have to put me as well. Each one's three, I think, Mark and Rob too.
Never lose them all.
So there's a question there from Linda, which I think is a very appropriate one.
I don't really have a huge issue with it.
What is this one?
Count, this is that's the actual question.
What is this? Is this?
Oh, I don't know what it's saying. Is she talking to herself?
I don't know.
Well, that's a question that creates in my mind. Can we feel happy and still properly feel others' pain? Yeah. Do you want me to read this out later?
Maybe.
Yes, thank you very much. Right, now I've got a question. So I get the fact that you should feel joyful. The week before we were reading about it, there was a meditation about this evening actually, meditation, which we recommend in the room.
Mhm. There are other texts.
Because an idea was.
No, I didn't see them all.
Oh, right.
You saw my replies to two of them, but I didn't see any others. So you have an exam coming up, I believe.
Dun, dun.
Now we've finished this first section.
Can we get our other papers marked as well? We don't have them marked for marking.
Yeah, they have.
We haven't had the results.
I marked them ages ago,
Well, we haven't had the results.
before the summer.
I haven't had the results.
No, we
You
haven't had the results. Yeah, you do, yeah.
You get an email
Doesn't,
off
I mean,
EBC.
you don't get banned, you still enjoy it.
You don't get told
I
off.
passed the results on, and I'm sorry they haven't come to you.
I'm going to slap everyone soon.
Well,
Yeah.
I think not
I'm
a good
just
idea,
compassionate.
but
Say, where's my results?
Pass it away.
I'm not sure I have a copy of them.
Well, Eddie, we'll have to.
I'm not doing it again.
I'm not doing it again. Probably I've got to go. I'm not bothered about the results.
So what it was? There was a TTP exam, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And the other one was. It was on how to understand the mind. Yes.
Well, I didn't do that one, but I did the TTP one.
TTP one was.
So hopefully you said they were in the office the last time you spoke to them. They were in the box somewhere.
Probably are still in.
Not in the upstairs room.
You'll have to ask Eddie when, because he'll know where they are.
Somewhere.
And if he doesn't, we can all take him into the garden and beat them up.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I haven't seen them.
Have you any idea where they might be, Sudana? You do.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Not the marks necessarily. I've seen the question papers.
Like the answers.
The answers on the question papers.
We need the answers.
Oh, okay. So there should be a list of numbers, and somewhere there will be names that correspond to those numbers. And anyway, we'll sort it out. And if we can't find a corresponding list of names, what we just do is give you back we'll show you the papers so you can identify what you're.
Never mind, it's all in good
Okay.
I kind of partly don't mind not having the results. I really
Yeah, but I
that
think
is
if we're going to implement this system, then from our side we're doing it, we should get the results.
I wouldn't grasp.
I'm not grasping.
Yeah, it's
I just think, well, why do it then?
all self-grasping.
I don't get the piss. I just think, well, why sit here for 3 hours writing something and then don't get what we really get?
Yeah, I agree.
All I'm thinking is just like, I don't mind the results if you've got to do it.
But you know, on ITTP they used to give out the results on a paper folded over and stapled.
Yeah.
And when they gave it to me, I just tore it up and threw it away.
At least you know someone's looked at the paper.
Yes, yes.
Like, that's, I'm not being.
No, I know.
Like,
You're entitled to have your mark back. You did the exam. The exam's not over until you get the mark back. Okay. Well, let's finish then.
So when do we do next week? Are we having a revision class?
I'm happy to have a revision class if you bring questions.
Through the virtue.
You've already had the oral transmission, so you don't need any more oral transmission. But if you want to bring questions, I'm happy to deal with them.
and then it's a discussion class because we haven't discussed this.
No, that's the exam.
No, the exam, and then we'll have to do a discussion on what we just
We'll sort it out.
We don't go out for any part of the book.
We have a break as well, term break, don't we? So what date is the exam? Is it the 4th? 14th of... Is that in the middle of, is that in the middle of the break?
It is in the middle of, yes. Break starts on
No rest for the wicked. No.
You're not wicked. Oh, I see, sorry, I missed that.
You can make a cup of tea.
We need to know it.
You can make a cup of tea.
Do you get half term then?
Why are we having a half term? When we start?
Okay, well, let's finish.
I have collected. Om Muni Muni Maha Muni Soha. Through the virtues I have collected, by practicing the stages of the path, may all living beings find the opportunity to practice in the same way. However many living beings there are, experiencing mental and physical suffering, may their suffering cease through the power of my merit, and may they find everlasting happiness and joy. May everyone experience the happiness of humans and gods, and quickly attain enlightenment, so that samsara is finally extinguished. For the benefit of all living beings as extensive as space, may I attain great wisdom like that of Manjushri, great compassion like that of Avalokiteshvara, great power like that of Vajrapani. The Buddha Dhamma is the supreme medicine that relieves all mental pain, so may this precious Dhamma jewel pervade all worlds throughout space. May there arise in the minds of all living beings great faith in Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, and thus may they always receive the blessings of the three precious gems. May there never arise in this world the miseries of incurable disease, famine, or war, or the dangers of earthquakes, fires, floods, storms, and so forth. May all mother beings meet precious teachers who reveal the stages of the path to enlightenment, and through engaging in this path, may they quickly attain the ultimate peace of full enlightenment. Through the blessings of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, the truth of actions and their effects, and the power of my pure superior intention, may all my prayers be fulfilled. So that the tradition of Jaisangkapa, the king of the Dhamma, may flourish. May all obstacles be pacified, and may all favorable conditions abound. Through the two collections of myself and others, destroyer of the hosts of O venerable Guru Buddha, synthesis of all three truths, with my body, speech, and mind, respectfully I make request. Please grant your blessings to ripen and liberate myself and others, and bestow the common and supreme attainments. Tsongkhapa, crown ornament of the scholars of the land of the snows. You are Buddha Shakyamuni and Vajradhara, the source of all attainments. Avalokiteshvara, the treasury of unobservable compassion. Manjushri, the supreme stainless wisdom. And Vajrapani, the destroyer of the hosts of Mars. O venerable Guru Buddha, synthesis of all three truths, with my body, speech, and mind, respectfully I make request. Please grant your blessings to ripen and liberate myself and others, and bestow the common and supreme attainments. Tsongkhapa, crown ornament of the scholars of the land of the snows. You are Buddha Shakyamuni and Vajradhara, the source of all attainments. Avalokiteshvara, the treasury of unobservable compassion. Manjushri, the supreme stainless wisdom. And Vajrapani, the destroyer of the hosts of Mars. O venerable Guru Buddha, synthesis of all three truths, with my body, speech, and mind, respectfully I make request. Please grant your blessings to ripen and liberate myself and others, and bestow the common and supreme attainments.
Thank you.